Is Obamacare on life support? Because it appears even the people it's supposed to help don't like it. Hello, everyone. I'm Charles Payne in for Neil Cavuto. And the state of the health care law, not so strong, says former presidential candidate Mitt Romney, sitting down with Neil before the president's State of the Union speech.
The real problem is the president promised the American people time and again they could keep their insurance if they wanted it. They can keep their doctors if they want them. And that promise that he made about keeping your insurance, he has violated. He knew it at the time. It was dishonest. And that is something for which he should apologize profusely.
Well, guess what? No apology. In fact, not much on health care in the State of the Union speech, and maybe this is why. A new poll finding even the uninsured don't like it by a 2-to-1 margin. And take a look at the favorable column. A huge slide in just 1 month. So if they don't want it, are we all going to pay more because of it? To Ben Stein, Dagan McDowell, Gary Kaltbaum, along with Adam Lashinsky and Charlie Gasparino. Gary K., this thing is becoming a bigger and bigger, not only PR nightmare, but obviously economic nightmare.
Well, look, it always was going to be. From day one, they had to, I'm going to use the word fib, economically unfeasible. There's no way you can look at the American public and say, we're going to add all these millions of people into any product. And by the way, it's not going to cost anymore. We're seeing the outcome of that, and it's only going to get worse. We're just starting at this point in time.
You know, and on the PR side, Dagan, it's not just the uninsured. I'm looking here at a Fox News poll. 6 out of 10 people with insurance expect their rates to go much higher.
Oh, well, we've got evidence of it right now. LA Times reporting that Anthem Blue Cross in California will raise premiums up to 25% for people who are grandfathered into older plans. Now, the state's trying to put a stop to that, but this is the kind of thing you're going to see. How about when the Cadillac healthcare plan tax kicks in, 40% excise tax in 2018? Right. That's going to hit, guess who? Unions. And you're going to see more and more outrage.
We'll see what happens between now and then. But, Ben, here's the thing. We were told there were 30 million people out there in the streets of America with no insurance. I thought there would be the bums rush for this thing. Where are the crowds? I mean, they've got everyone promoting this, the NFL, the NBA, Hollywood. No one wants it.
You've scared them away. No, I'm just kidding. Look, Mr. Obama basically promised something that could not be done. He promised he would defy the laws of mathematics, arithmetic, and statistics, and it can't be done. I admire him for making the attempt, but it was an attempt by someone who is naive and ignorant about the way the real world works. He should not have promised such grandiose things, and he should have just done the simple thing, which Nixon said he was going to do. Find out who cannot afford private health insurance. Give those people a check to buy private health insurance. Simple, done and done.
Charlie Gasparino is murmuring. He's champing at the
here's
bit.
why. Because isn't it somewhat ironic that the man who gave the huge assist to Obamacare, Mitt Romney, is actually criticizing Obamacare? Doesn't that strike you as a little odd?
Are you saying odd, disingenuous, hypocritical, or just making an observation?
I'm just saying that, you know, listen, I hate this law. I think it's economically unfeasible, but it's economically unfeasible, and it was modeled after what Mitt Romney did. So I think you have to take a little bit what he said with a grain of salt. He is criticizing, by the way, one kind of narrow aspect of it, whether the president lied or not. He is not criticizing the law, I don't believe.
Well, you know, Adam, a lot of people have criticized the law. A lot of people have pointed out to the fact that Ben just made that it's economically unfeasible, that it cannot work the way it's designed.
You know, yeah, a lot of people criticize this law, you know, starting with you, Charles, and I say that actually quite seriously. I'm using you as a metaphor here. This whole segment is based on a survey of people. What do you think will happen to your health costs? And we tell them constantly, this is a terrible law. This law isn't going to work.
Hold on 1 second.
This law was never going to be feasible. The president lied to you.
Adam, where are the people who this is supposed to help? Where are they? How come they haven't signed up? How come this isn't a success?
Well, I'll answer. Millions have. Millions more will. But every time we tell them how bad this is, I'm not finished speaking. Every time we tell them how bad this is, we plant seeds of doubt in their minds. Maybe it's not a good idea. Maybe I shouldn't sign up. Maybe I shouldn't get health insurance.
Hold on 1 second.
Adam, you're talking
Fox News for this?
I didn't say that, Ben. You said that. Adam, I'm shocked you would suggest that to me.
Hold on, Gary K. Bring in Gary K.
Adam, you're talking. Adam, that is funny. You're getting funnier and funnier.
Hold on 1 second. Gary K.
Adam, look, you sit there talking surveys. I'm talking real world. I put it out there to my radio audience to send me emails on what's exactly happening to their insurance. They're either getting kicked off, the premiums are going up, everything is going up, and they are complaining. They are
You're
arguing.
not doing
It's not
any
just
more-
Republican, it's
You're
Democrat.
not doing any more of a scientific survey when you do that than anybody else.
God forbid
you're
we
talking
should
to people
follow
who
a
are
good story.
listening
The
to your
government-
radio show
Hold on one second. Go, let him
who
finish.
are predisposed to answer these types of questions. That's great. We need to
Adam,
work
God
on their
forbid
problems.
we should follow a good story. You and the president go out there and talk about the millions of people who signed up, yet you will not release numbers on how many people paid.
Well, not only
I
that, so
don't
hold on
have
one
those
second.
numbers.
I want to bring
I don't have
Dig
those
in.
numbers,
Here's
Charlie.
the bottom line, okay? I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. It's hard to argue that this has been the success that it was built up
How
to
many
be.
people paid?
Forget about how many people paid.
Well, that's a big thing.
We heard that 30 million people were out there and they were being mistreated, and this is the way to make it a fair nation. Where are they? Where are they?
Charles, and I think the bigger picture I want to focus on, the reason that this law is not gaining favor is because the people who had insurance, it's being impacted. They're getting dumped off their insurance plans. They're worried about losing access to their doctors. It's why somebody would stay in a grandfathered plan. There are 300,000 people or more in California who are going to get their premiums raised by just Anthem. Just Anthem, just in California, up to 25% potentially. The issue is that this law will change the way that we access doctors and use health care and what we pay.
Which is the exact opposite.
Is going to make everyone hate it.
And that was the exact opposite, Ben, of what was promised from this law. It's doing a lot of things that we were told it would not do.
Well, we were promised it would be simple. It's incredibly complex. We were promised it would save money. As far as we can tell, it's not saving any money. We were promised it would give consumers leeway and choice. It's not doing that. I mean, I'm sure it's a fine bill in some respect. I mean, it provides employment.
No, it
for
is
a number
giving
of
people
bureaucrats.
choice.
But it is giving people the choice of whether or not to be ripped off or not to be ripped off.
No, it's giving them choice of several insurance options.
It is giving people some people some opportunities.
Right.
There's no doubt about that. But overall, compared with what was promised, compared with what was needed, it's a very big disappointment.
But remember how they did it. You know, the left, the progressives would for years complain about our crummy insurance system, how this is horrible, HMOs, all this stuff.
And everybody in the world was
Everybody's
better to
horrible.
the people,
And guess what they
nicer.
did?
Yeah.
They just took that system and expanded it. That's what we have now.
but
the
Charlie, I
same
mean, let's be
crummy
realistic.
system that people like Adam and the left and you know, listen, you watch television shows to cry about how the insurance companies are doing X and Y. They just expanded it.
But let's be
and now you're
realistic.
expecting it to work.
What the left wanted was national health care, right? And the left didn't get national health care. We got an expanded insurance program.
Right.
And it's messy. I don't think anyone thought this was going to be simple.
Well, Messi.
Sold it as
Listen, I've been silent for the most part over here. I wanted to add one point to something that Adam said, is that every time you argue a point of fact, anybody on against Obamacare, if we point out something that's gone wrong with it, people act like we are the devil. I'm tired of people on Twitter telling me, I hope you die of cancer because I have problems with Obamacare. That's the way the liberals have treated this. If you say anything negative that's a point of fact, they want you to,
that's what I was
jump
going
off
to
a
ask you,
cliff.
Adam, is when you use words like messy, is that a euphemism for disaster?
That's a good example of how our debate gets poisoned. I say messy, I mean complicated, I mean not as good as it should be, absolutely. You say disaster by way of denigrating the entire thing and saying what you've been saying all along. By the way, you've been consistent. I admire you for it. We shouldn't be doing
and
this.
he's
It's a
been
bad
consistently
idea.
right.
And I want to do everything I can to make sure it doesn't work.
It's been easy to be consistent on this if you were a critic of it. It keeps falling into your lap. I didn't think the computer system from day one, the website would be a junk. I didn't know. I didn't know that 6 million people were going to lose their health care insurance. I didn't know all of that stuff. It's easy to be a critic of this thing.
And look, forget opinions. I deal with facts and numbers.
That's why we brought
That's right. The numbers from warm Florida, actually cold. The numbers are just a horror show. And here's my big worry. We're in the infancy of all this, and the people that brought it to us, they didn't know what the heck they were doing. So what's next? What is going to be the final outcome?
Yeah,
I mean, what's more disturbing is that there were signs that this was going to go badly. I mean, months in advance, they knew that the rollout of the health
it was
exchange
driven by
going to go
ego
badly.
and ideology, and a whole lot of common sense was kicked to the curb.
Or burying
Thanks a lot,
your head
guys.
in the sand.
My RA, or my RA, A new government savings plan from a government that has no idea how to save. Somebody save us.
We all need someone to talk to, my own mind.
Well, another great thing about all this walking I've been doing is it's given me time to reflect on some of life's biggest questions. Like, if you could save hundreds on car insurance by making one simple call, why wouldn't you make that call? See, the only thing I can think of is you can't get any bars. It's better. There's a beautiful view. I wonder if I can see Mount Rushmore from here.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Welcome back. Tell us everything.
There's nothing like being your own boss.